Well, believe it or not, Jake Paul is not fighting Mike Tyson in July, but he is fighting a Mike, a special Mike. It's a platinum Mike Perry, the bare knuckle, baddest man, the guy who is the king of violence. And he's going to do a boxing match against the guy that he actually used to spar with, getting Jake ready for some of his boxing matches. Now he's his real opponent. My man, you take a look, and I love the fact that Mike Perry's making money. I love the fact this is something that's good for him. If I'm Dave Feldman, I don't know if I'm too happy about it.
Well, let's break this down into a couple different components. Okay, first off, Jake Paul is what he's fighting. To me, I believe he's fighting the wrong Mike. He should have waited for the other Mike. I don't. Yeah, see, you're thinking no. Yeah. I'm thinking yes.
No, look. Here's the difference. My opinion of Mike Perry is he was meant for bare knuckle. He's perfect. Yeah. I love him there. He's a star there. He's not a boxer, though.
Okay. He's
a bare knuckle boxer. And there's a difference. And I'm not saying that a bare knuckle boxer can't go into boxing. They can, but there's a difference. And this is that same thing that goes back in time to what my dad used to say, Josh, is don't play another man's game. Make him play yours. And Mike Perry stepping into a boxing ring with boxing rules and boxing gloves is playing Jake Paul's game. But I'm not saying, look, Mike will stand there with him and throw. It's Jake that's going to have to be smart.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to read Jake Paul's tweet. 1 mic, 2 mics, 3 mics, 4. The fact is every opponent has touched the floor. 5 months until Tyson and I go to war. So in the meantime, me and Perry are going to make Tampa roar. I fear no man, anytime, anywhere, any place. On July 20th, it's going to be W. So let us say. And then it says to add more. I didn't read the whole thing. But anyways, that was it. Look, I thought that was a catchy little thing. If you're a teeny bopper, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But my thing is this, is that it's going to really come down to Mike Perry is going to put the pressure on him that he potentially may not be able to handle. That's one. I think that he's got the boxing. He's gotten better at boxing since just focusing on just boxing and becoming a better bare knuckle boxing fighter. I think that that's going to have a big advantage. He's got more actual real combat fighting experience than Jake Paul.
Oh, no doubt.
And so when I'm looking at this, I'm not sure how many rounds it is yet. I didn't notice.
Who's the bigger man?
Oh, Jake Paul's the bigger man.
By a lot.
Okay. But the bigger man.
I don't know what. Did they say what weight they're going to go at? Is this going to be cruiserweight?
No, I didn't see what weight it was going to be.
Because Jake has gained weight for the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
And he was in the from what I was hearing, he was in the 230.
So I think they said cruiserweight. It's 189, isn't it?
So
190, yeah, 189, 190, something like that. Okay. So I think that's where I had read that it was going to be a cruiserweight fight. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So it's 8 rounds, cruiserweight bout on Tuesday. Bad. It will air on DAZN pay-per-view.
Okay. I look at it. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think that if Jake Paul was stepping into Mike Perry's world, I don't have a doubt about who's going to win that fight.
No.
Okay. With Mike stepping into Jake's world, he can outpoint Mike. He can move around and just try to, just touch and move. And he's always talking about knockouts and, all hitting the floor. That's great. He ain't knocking Mike Perry out. Mike Perry's got a great chin. Mike Perry is tough as hell. Mike Perry's going to throw down. It's just, I don't know if Jake is going to be the guy that's going to accommodate that. And when you're watching Mike, what makes him special is his ability to make people like Luke Rockhold try to set his feet. And let's throw, because all of a sudden they can't move. They can't run anymore. Yeah. And we'll see if that happens with Jake Paul.
A lot of it's going to have to do with the size of the ring.
Yes,
that's one thing. That's one thing you should be taking a look at.
If I was Jake Paul, that would be a 22-foot ring.
Yeah, as big as you could possibly
22 by 22. Oh yeah, if I can make it a 24 by 24, I'd do it. It'll probably be a 20 by 20.
I think Mike Perry's gotten a lot better since leaving. I know his confidence is at an all-time high right now. He believes that he can't be beat. I think if he makes this a dirty, grimy fight, I don't think that you can take that.
It's going to be hard to make it a dirty, grimy fight, though.
Yeah, it is.
Boxing rules.
It is. But
the boxing rules take away dirty, grimy.
Okay.
They just take it away.
Okay.
Well, it's the
rules.
I
understand where you're going with this. I just don't know if Jake Paul has the ability to detach himself from what goes on inside that ring. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like
yes, I do.
If Mike Perry starts making it a dirty, grimy fight, can he pull himself out of like, okay, look, I got to stick with my game plan, or do I got to stand there and trade? Like, can he do that? There's a lot of mental things that he's going to have to go through, Jake Paul is, and just figuring out, okay, how do I deal with the guy who is like this? Sure, maybe I've sparred with him in training. But we're talking about training. We're talking about practice.
Oh, totally different.
This is going to be completely different. You're going to have a guy who's come in from not doing a bender from the night before. You know, going, I'm just going to go train. I'm going to do a couple rounds with Jake Paul.
Well, he might do a little
YouTube guy. You know, like the mentality's different. I couldn't tell you how many times I showed up to spar with guys. I'm like, yeah, they're tough, but you know, whatever. And the sparring didn't go well because I was on a bender the night before. I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm going to show up at 10 a.m., 9 a.m., get 5 rounds in. By round 2, I was like, man, take me out, bro. I needed to get
I'm throwing out.
I need a break. Give me a sec. I'll come back in. We can't talk about that kind of that kind of training and that type of sparring. This is a real fight. Things change when the lights come on. Different. Jake Paul has been shown that, like, if you put him on his back foot, he's not the same fighter.
That's the real question. When you look at this exactly, Tommy Fury is the best example of when Tommy Fury was pushing and using his jab, he was giving Jake all kinds of problems. And Mike Perry doesn't have the same type of jab as Tommy Fury as far as the way that they go about it. But he's got big power and bigger power than Tommy Fury. And when he wants to unload, yeah, he can unload. And he comes forward because he will take the shot to give the shot. That's what makes him who he is. And, you know, I always look and say, but you are stepping into his arena.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't. I wish he was stepping into bare knuckle.
Well, let's get into that. I'm going to get into that in a sec. But I think Mike Perry has all the tools to get this job done. Okay, he's got to fight a smart fight. He's got to put the pressure. He's got to make. What I mean by smart fight is he cannot allow Jake Paul to stick and move on the jab, get on his bike, and just walk him down. No, he's got to walk him down with measured pressure. He's got to make sure he's jabbing himself in. He's got to hit the body, get his hands to lower, and then come back over the top with the big shots. He has all the tools, and I think the confidence of him doing what he's done over in BKFC is going to be a big part of his success in winning this fight. He's got to believe in himself doing the same thing he does in bare knuckle as he does in this. It's going to be harder to get those knockdowns. It's harder to get those cuts, harder to bang these guys out as much as he does in bare knuckle because obviously you have the gloves.
Just slipping those gloves through is going to be a pain in his ass.
But what this is, I'm going to go
comparative.
Now I'm going to go back into what you were saying though, John. Did Mike Perry think this thing through? Because where I'm at with this is one thing. If you're Dave Feldman, you're thinking to yourself, this is the biggest star I have right now. And you're probably upset that he's taking this fight. That's one. Two is Mike Perry. Did you think it through? You're going to hurt your marketability if you lose.
Could you?
Could you. You will. Sure. More people will be like, oh, I just saw that guy lose to a YouTuber.
But you got to be honest, you know, and I don't know. So I'm be talking completely, you know, out of left field here. Did Dave Feldman have a contract and allow him to do it? Did he go to Dave Feldman and say, hey man, I got this opportunity. What do you think? And Dave Feldman is looking at it going, I can get my guy to get a win, and I think he can get a win. This is good for us.
That might be a possibility. You might be exactly right. But here's my other thing. If I'm Mike Perry, you got to start thinking about your future. Like your future is in bare knuckle fighting. That later on, the Jake Paul thing and all the YouTube fights can happen later on. Right now, this is the guy who's really lining your pockets with some big money. And this is your world. Fighters don't want to fight you in bare knuckle fighting. They're like, yeah, I'll take the pass. Or I'll come in and I'll take 1 or 2 shots and go down and just collect my check to fight you.
Well, he's not even, when you look at it right now, Mike Perry is not even the champion. He's the king of violence, which he got when he fought Eddie Alvarez, and it was a cool thing. I like what they did. But they don't even have, he's not one of their title holders right now. So, yeah, I think he's a star there. I think that, man, he could do incredible things with the remainder of his career there. But you don't know what he's getting paid here. And this could be a huge payday.
It could be a huge payday. But Are you?
Okay, what
I
would
believe
you estimate it's going to be?
I'm thinking about 2.5, maybe 3 million.
I would say at least. I say between 2.5 and 5.
Okay, so I can go with
Yeah.
that. I can go with that. I'm going to stay on the lower end though. I'm going to, like I said, 2.5 to 3 million.
Okay.
Okay, I agree.
That's a pretty goddamn good payday.
It is a pretty damn good payday.
It's hard. If you're Mike Perry, that's a hard one to pass.
It definitely is. But now, is it worth jeopardizing what you've built over in BKFC, knowing that that person can line your pocket for a long period of time? And what I'm saying is this, is it's the casual fans that you now lost. All the YouTubers that are going to be watching because it's Jake Paul, those fans won't watch you fight in BKFC anymore.
But let me ask you this, because you've said it too many times and it's the truth. Sometimes you got to bet on yourself.
Right? Damn it. You use my words against me. Son of a gun.
It's the truth.
Absolutely.
It's the truth.
I mean, look, I think he can win. I have him probably a 60-40 in this. If he fights a good fight, a great fight, I think he walks him down. I think he loses the first 2 rounds, by getting hit with the jab, but I think he's going to figure it out. He's going to slip and he's going to make him pay. As soon as he starts hitting him with some good shots, Jake Paul is not, he doesn't have that fighter mentality yet. He doesn't have it. It takes time to build it up. I think, and sometimes you never get it. I just don't know if he has what it takes to dig deep. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him have to do it, and I don't think he can. That's just me. I don't think that he can dig deep against somebody like a Mike Perry, who all their lives have had to, his whole life he's had to dig deep just to get his bills paid, just to get in there and fight against guys, knowing that he didn't have a full camp. Like, he's had to do it. He didn't get to handpick his opponents his career. And this is what Jake Paul is doing right now, thinking that Mike Perry's going to be an easy fight. Stylistically, maybe he could be if you fight a good fight.
Well, I think that Jake Paul is looking back at a sparring session and saying, oh, no problem. And like you said, it's a sparring session. That's never a good thing to get all of your information off of.
No, I mean,
hell, you just had the whole, Devin Haney
Tank
Davis thing come out, and you look and you go, oh, okay. So
things change.
You hear one thing, you can feel one thing. It can be a different, but I think this is a great for Jake. I give Jake credit for taking another fight in place of the Tyson fight. He's keeping himself busy. That is important, especially when you don't have all that experience. You need to keep the repetitions in there. You need to keep that edge sharp, and he's trying to do that. That's why he's taking this fight. I give him credit. It's also because he's the guy that's in charge of the promotion, and he's put money out, and I don't want to lose that money. And so I totally understand, all sides of it, but I do give him credit. He's taken on someone that is a tough dude.
Whether you're an Olympic athlete, professional hockey player, MMA world champion, or just an active kid, LMNT helps anyone stay hydrated. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients. Get your free sample pack with any LMNT drink mix purchase through link in bio. Also try the new LMNT Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Roll, train, ride, or play, but stay hydrated and stay salty. No, he's absolutely no. Mike Perry's tough as nails, man. It's probably one of the toughest guys in the sport, man. He's definitely hard to finish. He's definitely someone that can hit you and crack you and knock you the fuck out. He's got all those tools in his box. But I want to take it one step further. Knowing what's going on with Mike Tyson, does it make you think any less of Jake Paul for like saying, "Hey, we're still fighting Mike Tyson"? Like, I was kind of on board with the fight, John, when it first got started. I'm like, you know what? Screw it, man. Mike's been training. Mike's wanting to do this. And but then now you're having some medical issues, and now we've just postponed it till November. It made me actually start thinking like, wow, you really are just a scumbag. You're in it for anything. You'll go ahead and just, instead of saying like, hey, you know what? There's medically something wrong with this guy. Like, I could be the one that, and I'm not saying it would happen, but I'm just simply saying, if you got seriously injured, brain injury, heart attack, whatever it is.
No, just getting hit to the stomach he's got ulcers.
Yeah, I'm like,
okay, getting hit to the body and stuff can have an effect. Okay, and there's things that you can rupture. It's not a good thing, and that's why he had to pull out of the fight. So I look at it and it's like, I see what you're saying. I also look at it, he's made a commitment towards Mike Tyson, and he's not pulling out of that commitment at this point until Mike pulls out of that commitment. And I give him credit for that.
Okay, you looked at it from a different point of view. That's why I brought it up. I'm not trying to drag him down.
I see your point.
Man,
I see your point, but I also can see the other side where it's like, hey, I'm not going to sit here and shut that down because that's something that you were going to make a lot of money at. And if you can physically get yourself right and the doctors say you're okay, then hey, we'll do it.
Let me ask you this though. Okay, now you said he's going to make a lot of money at it. Who do you think is the plus side on that?
On the Tyson,
yeah, Tyson
Paul?
Or Jake?
Mike Tyson.
You say it with such confidence.
Come on. Okay, it's as simple as this.
It's Jake's.
How can he not
Jake's promotion?
It is
okay,
but you better figure out when you're not the A side. Okay, you can act like the A side. You can tell everybody you are the A side. Mike Tyson came out of retirement to fight Roy Jones Jr. That did over 1 million pay-per-view buys for an exhibition.
But it was
exhibition.
Roy Jones.
But it's an exhibition. We just saw an exhibition between Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen, and you can see how bad an exhibition can be, and no one paid for that, but they paid for Mike Tyson's
Don't
exhibition.
ever bring up that freaking fight alongside Mike Tyson and Roy Jones.
I just watched this and okay.
You could tell in the first 7 or 8 punches, man, what is this? Like
I told you, I said, man, they held back everything.
Freaking Chael duped us again. Got me watching that damn fight. I was like, what is going on? I couldn't turn away. It was like a perfect car crash. Like it was. I was like, man, this is so bad. I gotta watch it to see if something happens. And
maybe it'll get better.
Happened. I was like, no, I watched all the rounds,
all the way to the end, 5 rounds,
all of it. I was like, no, this is horrible. It was so bad, but don't ever mention those two guys' names alongside Mike Tyson.
Well, but does it make sense?
It does.
Over 1 million pay-per-view buys for an exhibition.
Yeah, I know, but
okay, who's the ace?
No, I agree that it should be Mike Tyson. I just want to know if it ended up being that way when it came to the money. You know, you would think it would, because I think.
As far as the money, I think it. You know, you'll get those situations almost like a Floyd versus a Pacquiao, where it was still Floyd making the little bit more money, but it gets close.
Yeah.
And if you're smart, man,
John.
That's me. I don't think about these things. But if you were smart as Jake Paul, I'll split it 50-50, dude.
Yeah.
Because I know you're bringing eyeballs.
Yeah, I would maybe even go 60-40. I would go probably somewhere around there, 60-40, 70-30 for Tyson. I'm just simply saying, like, if you're the guy who's running the promotion, you're going to get paid on the promotion side as well. And then on top of it, you get your purse. So, I mean, he's actually going to probably making it. It's going to be overall probably about 50-50, maybe even a little bit more in his favor from the promotional side, depending on how many tickets they do. But I'm going to leave you guys with this, that this fight, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, it's getting some real traction amongst people that I never would have thought would have watched fighting. So, and I live in the Dallas area. It's supposed to be at AT&T Stadium.
Oh yeah.
And I live here, and everyone's like, "When's that fight happen?" I heard it got postponed. I'm going to buy tickets. I want to go. And I'm like, wow, these are people that I know don't even watch fighting.
But that's what. See, Mike Tyson has this aura that people that have heard of him never got to see him, when he was in his prime or anything, but they see him, they know who he is. I get a chance to go to a Mike Tyson fight, I got to do it.
Yeah,
I got to do it, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all, and that's why I say he's the A side. People aren't going; they're not running out. Little kids are running out with their dads to watch Jake Paul. Grown men are wanting to buy tickets to watch Mike Tyson.
Well, that fight now is November at AT&T Stadium here in Dallas, Texas. Don't miss it.
So just make sure that you got a room ready for me, because we're going to go.
My house is always open. You know that.